At least 40 people have been killed in an attack on a school in western Uganda. This happened in Mpondweh. That's a few kilometers from the border with the Democratic Republic of Congo. The police say a dormitory was set on fire by fighters from the Allied Democratic Forces, the ADF. The army says it is pursuing the attackers to rescue those who were abducted. Catherine Soy is following developments from the Kenyan capital, Nairobi. Catherine, it's so good to talk to you. What more have you been able to find out about all of this? Who was abducted and where they might have been taken?
Yeah, we have been talking to journalists who are on the ground. We have also spoken to an administrator, a government administrator, who confirmed that around 40 people, 40 students were killed. And what we know right now is that soldiers, Ugandan soldiers, are currently pursuing these attackers into Virunga National Park in the Democratic Republic of Congo. We also know that they fled there. We also know that there's a dormitory that was burned down and a food store that was looted as well. Now, we have been told by police that that whole area, the school itself, has been cordoned off. So it's a very much developing story. But people there are very afraid, and there's a lot of anxiety, and it's death. So people are very, very afraid and uncertain about what's going to happen next.
What can you tell us about this border area between Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo? Also, that poses a specific challenge for the Ugandan forces if they have to cross the border to pursue the attackers. What can you tell us about that, too?
Yes, this is a very big attack, and everybody is talking about it because it's a cross-border county. It's a cross-border happenings. We have people in DRC and people in Uganda trading and things like that. But then we have seen other attacks in recent past. For example, we have Ugandans who have been killed and assassinated by ADF. And in 2021, there was a suicide attack that happened in Kampala, the capital, and that's why the government sent troops into DRC to help DRC forces to deal with ADF. Now, ADF itself is based in Beni territory in North Kivu province, but then we also see a lot of attacks, even with the presence of these troops and UN peacekeepers as well. We see this brazen attacks by ADF. Thousands of people in DRC itself have been killed. Many are displaced, and now that we're seeing this attack in Uganda itself, people are very worried and very anxious about what's going on.
Catherine Soy reporting on this from Nairobi. Thank you very much. Let's bring in Daniel Bwambale. He is a lawyer and expert on government affairs. He joins us from Kampala. Daniel, first, your thoughts on this attack.
Thank you so much. The attack is modus operandi of any guerrilla or jihadi outfit. Disorganize the masses, hit soft targets, run back to base. If you're lucky enough and have actionable intelligence, hit the base where the soldiers are. But as far as I'm concerned, the UPDF is almost overly represented in that area. There are 3 barracks within a radius of 5 kilometers from that school. In fact, 2 of the barracks of the UPDF are 1 kilometer away from the school. We also know that the actual number is 42. The girls were bludgeoned with blunt instruments. The boys were really burnt in the dormitory. We also know that a general, a commanding officer of the Mountain Division, in whose territory the attack took place, has confirmed that they had intel showing that the ADF had been in the place for 2 days, which shows probably a lapse in synthesis and actually working on the intel that the UPDF has received. The UPDF has enough assets within that area to mount a robust comeback or even a counterattack. They have unmanned aerial vehicles, they have tankers, they have MRAPs. There's no reason why this attack should have taken place at the time it took place, and why the 42 students and some adults would have been killed in the manner they were.
Do the Ugandan forces have the personnel, the resources, the know-how necessary to pursue the group that carried out the attack, if need be, in DRC?
Perfectly so. We have over 6,000 soldiers in the southern sections of Kivu under the East African Reaction Force. We have at least 5,000 in the North Kivu under Operation Shuja. Shuja means hero, pursuing the ADF. In fact, some analysts believe the ADF is coming into Uganda because of how much pressure they are under in the DRC. There are air assets available, unmanned aerial vehicles, enough artillery, and most definitely enough personnel to pursue the ADF. This, to me, was a big lapse in actioning or working on the intel the forces had received. It's a big issue right now because this shows just recently were attacked in Somalia, and still analysts think we didn't act on the intel very well. So I think there's a lapse in intelligence. On March 31st, it was reported in one of the daily papers that the Director General of the Internal Security Organization, Lieutenant Colonel Emmanuel Katabazi, had warned his officers along the border with the DRC to be on high alert. And then just 2 weeks later, we get this attack. There's also confirmation from the commanding officer.
All right.
That he knew that for 2 days, the ADF was there.
Daniel Bwambale, thank you so much for joining us on the program today. We appreciate your insights on this.